Welcome back, yogis. It's just a general reminder, if you're tuning in, check the disclaimers at the bottom. Before beginning this practice, we will be doing some belly down stuff. So this is generally for our core work. It's great foundational practice for inversions, for arm balances. It's a little warm up we're going to start with, and then we'll actually play with a few of those poses today. The easiest place to start and the best place to start, this is a modification or a regression that you can just always go back to, okay, if your body's not feeling it for some reason, or if you're just getting started with your physical practice. So the tabletop position in yoga, the hands are underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips. I tuck my toes. Some people point the toes, do what feels comfortable for you. Also, you may need some extra support or padding, so you have an extra towel available, and you can use that underneath the knees, for instance. If you're wrist sensitive, another way to use this prop is to actually place it under the heel of the wrist, which will give you just a little bit of a slight less angle for the wrist joint itself. What I also like to do in that case is just move my hands forward a little bit in front of the shoulders. You can see it has this effect. Okay. So when you get yourself set and comfortable, we want to relate to, again, the center of our body, remembering the line from the bottom of the pelvis through the ribs, through the back of the roof of the mouth to the top of the head. We call that Sushumna Nadi, the central channel. It's the energy channel through which everything else connects. So it's really important that we focus into that as we move. So the exhalation, we just allow the two ends of the body to drop towards the earth, towards the ground. Gravity assists us with this. It doesn't require effort. You might find navel drawing in towards spine, shoulders and arms lightly pressing back towards the back of your body, or towards the lower body, I should say. On your inhale, let the two ends of the body lift. Shoulders relax or maybe even slightly elevate, but we're not forcing that or really kind of straining the neck. Okay, so I'll show you a few rounds of this movement, exhaling and inhaling, just letting the breath fill the spaces as my posture adjusts. For those of you that are more advanced, you might tuck your toes under, lift the knees. Now you should be able to maintain that nice smooth movement as you focus into the center. Otherwise, it's again just other muscles working, maybe like your hips or your back or your shoulders. That's okay. If that happens, just pay attention to it. Okay, to progress, move back and forth. You're inhaling on the way back. I'm going to slide my hands forward just a little bit here. As I exhale, curling base of pelvis. We always start with that foundation, grounding down, and then we'll bring the shoulders forward, over, or slightly in front of the wrist if you're working on more advanced poses, wrist mobility. Working towards that modified plank. Again, if you want to get there, just slide the hands forward when your hips are back, and your shoulders should be stacked over the wrists, a little tuck under with the pelvis, and we're in that modified plank position. So there's the next level for you. Adding a lift to the knees on the way forward. You can ground the knees on the way back or let them hover. Again, this is not exercise. Think of it as a moving meditation. So focus on how the center of your body moves and the other parts relate to it. We always want a little bit of that cat-like tuck of the root when we come forward to engage the core, support the lower back. Arms and heels ground back to help keep the upper body and the lower body nice and connected and grounded as well. A light reach through the top of the head, and everything comes together. Okay, take it to a downward facing dog, lifting the base of the pelvis, head drops between the arms. And here we want to think of the shoulders reaching out from center. So like when we were lying on the back in the earlier practice, if you haven't joined me for that, that's okay. Just think of bringing the shoulders towards the center of the skull, squeezing the arms in, grounding through the index finger knuckles, grounding through the heels wherever they are. Okay, same idea here. I'm going to tuck the base of the pelvis under, giving me a little grounding through the root, projecting the energy forward through the crown, and moving it back. Inhaling and exhaling forward. can lower the knees, take a resting few breaths in child's pose. Great little thing if you've been on the wrist for a while. Nice little wrist relief. Bend your elbows, gently roll out the wrist. Just let some energy flow through those spaces and move the fingers around, do whatever feels good. Forehead might rest on the mat. Okay, so we're not going to go over the chaturanga today. If you'd like to from here, you're just going to walk that forearms forward a little bit, slide the knees back, and gently lower down onto your belly. So this is our Sphinx pose. Tops of the feet are down. You may lose my feet a little bit. That's okay, they're not doing much. What we are going to do is squeeze the ankles, inner thighs together. This helps us to ground through the root, connect through the lower limbs. We're going to ground the base of the pelvis down. You can notice as I do that, naturally brings my energy into the core and out of the lower back, right? This, a little collapsed, much more engaged here. Guiding the energy up through the top of the spine, reaching through the crown of the head, I find Sphinx pose really easy. Shoulders, arms drawing back. Again, I'm still grounded through my upper limbs. Okay, if you want to take this up a little bit on your exhale, squeeze the arms in a little, lift the rib cage, let the elbows lift away from the floor. Let go, come back down. Okay, so that can be your variation of cobra if it feels okay on your back. Traditional cobra, hands are right beside the ribs. This is the area of my diaphragm. So again, that center space of the diaphragm connects our upper body, our upper limbs, to our core. So we want to use that. And again, grounding through the root, lifting through the top of the head, arms squeeze in as my ribs lift. I find whatever level of extension I can without straining the neck or shoulders. You can see as I come up, my shoulders, neck stay relaxed. Okay, not like this. Lifting with the shoulders, lifting with the back, right? Feels not so good. Even if you're only going here, should be able to lift the hands and maintain that energy, okay? Obviously, as we get higher up, that's not the case. Full upward dog, the thighs lift for those that want to go there. Good, let's come back to tabletop. So the next movement, our knee to elbow. You can again stay on the knees for this as just our first level option. And I'm gonna essentially, as I inhale, reach back. I'm gonna move forward a little bit. As I inhale, I'm reaching back with one leg, finding maybe a little bit of that cow-like extension of the spine if that feels okay. And then as you exhale, coming forward, knee comes in towards the chest. Just standing him out. Again, not about crunching. You wanna extend through the top of the spine. And then inhale, reach it back. More traditionally, you can go from a downward facing dog. So lifting the root, sending that leg up, and then plank pose, knee to chest. One more round on this side. Hold for a moment. See if you can exhale, squeeze the belly in, reach through your center. Release the leg back, find the other side. Again, you can lower to the knees, send the other leg back. Take downward facing dogs where I'm gonna go lift the leg up. Exhaling, knee to chest. Inhale to reach it back. Still grounding through those forelimbs, so I'm not coming forward on the toes, reaching back through the heel. Last one, hold the knee in, reach through the crown, exhale, pull belly towards the spine. Push the floor away, and release. Then you can take child's pose for a few breaths. So I'm going to show one more variation here, and this one is a great just little kind of adjustment you can make to wake up some different muscle connections in the core. Essentially, we're just changing the angle of that moving thigh. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 rounds on each leg, going towards each arm. Okay, and then one more thing that you can add here. So traditionally, again, downward facing dog, the leg is lifted.
If you'd like to work the thighs a little bit more, or just wake up those energies, you can bend the knees, sink your hips back. I call this the four-pointed squat position. Okay, so either option works. When you come forward, ground through the root, bring right knee to right outer elbow. Okay, I'll show the traditional variation going back, leg lifts, and then right knee to left elbow. Nice and slow, however far you make it. Notice I'm not rotating my hips necessarily, just driving the thigh across the body, staying centered, and bringing it back. Okay, the second variation, if you want to go there, plant the foot, bend the knees, right knee to right elbow, move forward, hips stay low, right knee to left elbow. I just got confused. If you do lose track, it's okay. Bring it on back. Okay, second side. Again, traditionally, downward dog, left leg lifts. Coming forward, left knee to left elbow. And back. Cross the thigh towards the right elbow. Hips stay squared, body centered. And bring it back. Stay with that, or plant the foot, bend the knees, left knee to left elbow. Bring it back. Left knee to right elbow. Bring it back. Very nice. Okay, again, be nice to your wrists for a few breaths. A nice counter stretch, bring the backs of the hands to the ground, just closing, opening the fingers. You can do a little movement there. Awesome.